Hi there, and welcome to the Wedding Wellness Way. I'm so excited that you're here. This is my first video. I am a millennial, so I did grow up with YouTube, but I have never created a YouTube myself. So bear with me as I learn and grow. But mostly, I'm so excited to teach you about weddings. It is like my heart and my soul and my passion. I've been a wedding photographer for 14 years, traveling the world, photographing weddings from Singapore to Thailand to England to Utah to California to Jamaica, all over. And I kept seeing the same pattern. And so I'm really excited to get into this today because I feel like weddings have lost the plot a little bit. Today, we're going to talk about why wellness during your wedding season and how to find that so that you're able to really take charge and ownership of this season, prepping into marriage. Okay, but first, I'm Hannah. I am from Ohio and went to school in Indiana and then nannied in Dallas and then found my way to Arizona. I sort of think that our culture has kind of lost the plot with weddings. The hoopla, the show, people getting caught up in what it looks like instead of what it feels like. I hope you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've seen it on TikTok or Instagram, these weddings that are so outlandish. And on this page, I am going to explain to you the difference between a $5,000 wedding and a $500,000 wedding. Because what we keep seeing on Pinterest and Instagram is this idealized $500,000 wedding view. And so then we create these narratives that I have to have this, and if I don't have this, then I'm not measuring up to a certain standard of a wedding, even for wedding influencers. And I'm here to break that narrative a little bit. And I want to come back to what is a wedding? A wedding is this magical, once in a lifetime kind of day that we get to invite our guests, our favorite friends and family, into this gathering where we use all of our senses: touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound to create a gathering where we remember it in our bodies and in our hearts. I believe that weddings are the essence of what we're doing here. Maybe not the hoopla of it, right? But the commitment, the love, the gathering, the celebration. For thousands of years, humans have gathered to celebrate. over the table with food and wine and dancing. And that is a wedding. It's not actually just for the couple. If it was, I actually encourage you to go elope. But weddings are also a time of gathering for our family and friends and for community. And I don't want you to lose that. Everyone tells you it's about you, but then the culture puts so much stress on you creating this gathering and spending thousands of dollars for your people. I'm just here to tell you that I was once disenchanted with weddings. After like 12 years of shooting weddings, I had some nerve issues from holding my camera for so long. And I was really trying to reevaluate what I believe about weddings because I couldn't keep doing the cookie cutter Pinterest copy paste wedding, quite honestly. Am I allowed to cuss on YouTube? I think so. Tell me in the comments. And so in 2021, I really had to reevaluate what I believed about weddings, kind of fall in love with them again. And that's what I did. And that's where Wedding Wellness came from, was gathering all of this data and experience around what weddings have turned into and my experience of weddings across culture and countries and locations and people and styles of weddings. So anywhere from elopement to a big traditional wedding to a micro wedding to a backyard wedding. And so I took all of this information plus my experience of how Hannah sees the world and mixing it with intention, with purpose, with meaning, with how we want our days to feel, not just how they look. And so in Wedding Wellness Way, I will teach you to slow down, to come back to yourself so you can get on the same page with your partner, to listen to yourself, to build mindfulness practices so that on the wedding day you can actually be present in your body, in your heart, in your mind together. I will ask and teach you how to radically release or radically accept what is true. That maybe looks like grieving something that you really had dreamed of, but it doesn't fit with your budget or with what your partner wants. Again, Zola is not talking about this. The Knot is not talking about how it feels in our bodies because we are going through a massive life transition when we get engaged. What is a life transition? A life transition you have experienced, you have gone through many yourself, and you will have gone through many after your wedding. So you know what it is, but no one's really talked about them. I started studying life transitions from sociologists and psychologists, and what I learned is that every life transition starts with an ending. There has to be an ending of an old season of life, whether you are retiring or graduating from high school, graduating from college, moving across the country, having a baby, starting a new career, getting fired, divorce, death. All of these are life transitions, especially getting married and moving in with your partner. With that comes an ending of a season. And then there's a middle ground where you're not there anymore. You're not dating, but you're not married yet. You're in the in-between, the liminal space. This is engagement season. And then there's a new beginning, the wedding, the marriage. But that even could take a year. For Ian and I, it took me like a year to settle into this new life, this new beginning. And what I believe weddings are, they are a rite of passage that we have seen across time and culture. They are rituals that take us from one season of life to a new season of life. So we need weddings. We can't throw them out. I'm just asking to reframe them so that you can really sink deeper into this identity shifting that is happening. Because in the middle, in wedding planning, in engagement season, what's happening is your identity is shifting. Your family dynamics are changing. Your friends are changing because they might not be in your same season of life. You may have lived with them and now things are shifting. It might look a little different because baby woke up and so I had to end and now this is another nap and so let's carry on. Okay, so life transitions. Why they're so important especially in wedding world, is because when we get caught up on the surface, which is flowers, decor, the bridesmaids' dress colors, we lose sight of the life transition that you're in. And when we can sink deep into the underneath, the undercurrent is what I like to call it, then we're able to actually feel what's happening, grieve what we need to, talk about what we need to with our partners, our families, ourselves, journal through them so that when the new beginning comes, we can actually transition well. If we don't allow those things to happen, oftentimes the new beginning feels much more rough and we don't actually transition into that next life stage, which is marriage. We can kind of get stuck in the old way of life. What I've learned about life transitions is that wellness is a core key component to this. And that's why I want to bring more wellness to the wedding world. So why wellness, right? The patterns that I kept seeing at all of these weddings that I have photographed over the last 14 years have also been things like uncertainty, stress, overwhelm, bridezilla-ness. That's a word I just made up, bridezilla-ness, and the wedding overtaking your life. During life transitions, I have these 5 core wellness habits that if you can kind of root into them, you can transition better. They're so basic. But what I've seen and read and studied is that we tend to forget about ourselves and our health during massive life transitions. So I will go much deeper into these 5 in another YouTube video. But for right now, they are movement, so daily movement, clean eating, making sure you get enough water, sleeping enough, and mindfulness of some kind. They're so basic, but yet we forget about them, right? And I just want to say that wellness in this season doesn't just look like a skincare routine, going to hot yoga, and making sure you drink your juice. That's like a misconception, in my opinion, of what's out there on the internet. Wellness looks like boundaries with yourself, with the wedding, with family, with friends' opinions, with expectations. It looks like creating a daily ritual of mindfulness so that you can tap back in here, so that you know what the heck is going on instead of just being run down and feeling like you're in the middle of a wave during wedding season that it's completely overtaking. So mindfulness habits. Organization is wellness. Clarity is wellness. Ownership and awareness are like my 2 big things in wellness. Becoming aware and then taking ownership. And then one more massive thing during this life transition that we often lose the plot about is marriage prep, not just the wedding. We can make all these decisions together, go food tasting, do our bachelorette parties, have so many conversations with our partner about the wedding. But are we aligned in 5 core areas to move into marriage? These are intimacy, in-laws and boundaries, children if you want them and how you want to raise them, faith, and finances. And so if you can get really clear and agree upon those 5, or at least see each other's viewpoints and allow there to be differences, you're going to be so much more likely to stay married. There's like a massive study done on this, which I'm again going to do another YouTube video about in the future. So stay tuned. How do we be present? Not just our wedding days, but in our marriage. And so I had this vision one day when I was in Florida in 2021, when I was questioning my photography career choice. And I saw this vision of helping couples listen to themselves, regulate, and be present in engagement season, and taking those skills and that life transition into their next life transition, which is marriage, and then beyond all of the other ones. And so with Wedding Wellness, what I do, my whole aim is to help you establish wellness habits so that you can take them into the future, so that you can apply them into your marriage so that we can have healthier marriages and we can have healthier families. If you like anything I said or like it's resonating with you, please drop it in the comment section what exactly is resonating, whether it's a word of like nervous system regulation during wedding season or, yeah, I'm overwhelmed. Please, can you give me some more tools? Okay, I had to get up to show you the Wedding Wellness Journal, which can be a tool for you during your engagement season or for a friend that you know who's engaged who wants to do this season a little differently. They want to be intentional daily. They want to create healthy habits. They want to prep not just for the wedding, but for their marriage. And so inside is 3 months worth of daily rituals. I actually use this in my marriage, not just my engagement season. And then all at the beginning is the ways that we can reframe our wedding season step by step. And then in the back is rituals to help us transition into marriage. So changing your last name, wedding dress shopping, bachelor, bachelorette parties, those are all rituals. And I would love to support you in that. And so I'll drop a link on how you can get this for 20% off. But that's besides the point. I'm not here to sell you that. I'm here to give you tools and resources and to start the conversation about how can we do this differently. So if you're interested, please subscribe and stick around for more videos about intentional weddings.